Hello there, and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time, take a look at the 1984 Nissan Skyline Silhouette Formula R30. This is a certified Gran Turismo icon, if ever one did exist. Part of one of the legendary money-making schemes in this game, where if you win the final race of the 80s Sports Car Championship, which you can do in your first car, you get this. And then you can either take this to Gran Turismo All-Stars or sell it for 125,000 credits. Personally, I'd take it to the All-Stars because it's actually a pretty decent vehicle around a normal track. But will it be quick around our track? And that is the question. Now, in case you're wondering, this is a legitimate real car. Silhouette racing was a thing in Japan in the 80s. Then it went away. They tried to bring it back in the 90s. I believe the Toyota Chaser race mod, which is the actual official car in the Project A-Spec mod. That is, well, was supposed to be sort of one of the cars that was a concept for the series, but it never really took off. Anyways, front engine, rear-wheel drive, 563 horsepower, 1,005 kilos, a lot of torque. I think this might be a little bit undrivable, but we'll see. It is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 5 RS, which had a time of a 27.806. This car is unlikely to beat that, but should be quick. In terms of where this might end up, GT500 Skylines, we've had the Calsonic, which was one of the first, no, it was actually the first GT500 car to go round. We haven't had one since, so that might be a little bit of a bad benchmark, but the 29.6 was the time for that car, so if this can be controllable and we can get somewhere around there, we will be grand. A little bit of throttle modulation. I did, the most recent episodes I recorded a while ago have started going up, and a lot of people in the comment section are pointing out the fact that yes, there is actually a way to modulate throttle in Gran Turismo. 29.2, that's not bad. Yeah, there is actually a way to do it. Of course, there's the thumbsticks, although if you do drive with the joysticks, if you use those for acceleration and braking, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't think you can be helped. And there's also like a way in Duck Station to get the throttle modulation to work with the triggers, so you can sort of, I think it's like a weird thing where you can basically convince the emulator, or well, what you are supposed to be emulating, that the triggers are actually like the analog sticks or something like that. I'm not too sure how that works. I do know it's possible, there's like tutorials on it and stuff, but obviously it is far too late in the series to start using that. I wish I'd known that before, because I could have made myself look like an absolute driving god with some of these cars, but alas, you know. It also goes a little bit against what this series is supposed to be, you know. This is supposed to be a little bit of a case of, you know, it's scientific, but it's also supposed to be rudimentary, because the whole, you know, this series started out with me playing the PlayStation 3, sort of putting a PS1 game into a PS3 and doing it that way, so I tried to make it as accurate as possible. Obviously I'm using a 360 controller, which isn't accurate, but you know, you could reasonably use standard hardware and somewhat emulate what I'm doing here. That's sort of the point of this series, which is interesting. I know that does sound like something I have just made up to purely cover my ineptitude with discovering about the trigger thing, but I promise you that's somewhat accurate. Not going to get the good launch out that final. I think that could have gone quicker, but only a little bit. I'm not going to lie, I don't think there is a significant... Maybe you could get it into the 28s, but it would be a scraping into the 28s. It would not be full-blown break-in, if you will. So, but it's certainly not done bad, as you'll find out, especially for an old-timer. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the sector times on there don't really show a whole lot, do they? So that's interesting. Anyways, a 29.213 will place this car into 23rd place. It is slightly slower than the 4-door GTR and the R34, but other than that, it is the quickest Skyline we've had. Beats the NSXR LMGT2. It, of course, beats out many of the Skylines, Silvia. Beats out the Evo 4, Subaru Impreza Sedan version 3. Beats out all of the GT500 cars apart from the NSXs, so yeah, I mean it's actually where you'd sort of expect it to be, because it's not quite up with the sort of state of the art for the time period anyway, race cars. It's not like the GT1, R390, it's not quite there, but yeah, that's still quite impressive, really, to be honest with you. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.